Alright guys, what is up? Welcome back to another random video, or possibly the first random video. Kind of depends on how quick I get the other ones out. I have a video going over some unboxing of some cards. Check those out. If it isn't out first, it'll be out here soon. Also, I might showcase some of these figurines. Ooh, don't want to do it away. Alright, but today I got something to eat in the mail. I got the world's technically third blackest black. This is black 2.0. There is a black 3.0 that is blacker than this, but of course neither of those touch the legendary Vanta black that nobody can buy. So this is technically the second blackest black on the market, the third blackest black in the world. So we're gonna check that out. We got a few figurines. We're gonna try things out on here. They're kind of our test maggots because I have a few things I want to check out. And I wanted to just kind of see, like, I've been told that the camera loves this stuff. It just looks absolutely phenomenal on camera. Looks pretty good in person. But we'll see. But I wanted to find some pretty high detailed figurines. See if we can't really just make that look like a void. I want to get another one that's a little bit bigger. So we got little tagger here from Lion King. I guess that'd be a lion. But yeah, so we'll check that out. We also have Ray Gun Red, I believe what it's called here. Yeah, we got Ray Gun Red right there. Supposedly in the line of the world's ishest colorist colors. So, you know, this is along the lines of the pinkest pink, the greenest green, the loveliest blue, because you don't want to call it the bluest blue. And so this is supposedly like the reddest red, so it's called Ray Gun Red. So we'll check that out too. We'll see how that turns out. And not sure what I'm going to do with this stuff. Honestly, it was just cheaper to buy it than pay for shipping. So I threw it in my cart, said let's get some free shit instead of paying for shipping. And but this is Diamond Dust. This is the world's most glitterously glitter. I'm kind of hesitant to use this because it is made from glass shards, so you think plastic doesn't break down. Good lord. Yeah, so I'm kind of really hesitant to use this. This might just stay here, but again, it was cheaper to pay the $3 or $4 for this thing than it was the $7 or $8 for shipping. And then finally, this is what we're gonna play around with here. We got some lit. I can hold it right side up there. I got some powder coming off of my fingers there. This is glow-in-the-dark pigment powder. Basically, you can add it to a clear super base if you want, or you can add it to any of these other colors, supposedly, and they turn out pretty good. I did watch another video, actually a couple, where they mixed this in with the black 2.0. It still looked, I call about black 1.9. It wasn't quite as black as it straight was, but you know, again, on video, so who knows what it really looks like in person. But it still had the lit properties, and I thought that was, sorry, I'm gonna have to say it, pretty lit. But yeah, so we're gonna check that out. I'm gonna get the camera set up here, and we'll kind of shoot some footage of me painting some stuff. Probably should grab a paintbrush. Yeah, about details. But yeah, so we're gonna have 3 different setups here. We're gonna try. This is gonna just be one with just the red in it, and then we'll just do a black, and then we'll do the black with the lit in it. I might go find another cap and do the red with the lit in it as well, just to kind of check it out. But well, let's pause the video here and get to painting. Alright, just joking. We'll get to painting here in another minute or two. I just want to kind of go over what my setup is here. I might need a little bit more in that. That was a mess to make. I'll put a little bit more in there, but so got some brushes, which is good. They're a little oversized, but they'll get the job done. Can be cornerish about it. I marked the couple I'm going to use for the glow in the dark, the lit pigment in there. I'll mix it in a little bit better here with the masking tape there to mark those. I did decide to go and get another cap there, put the red in. I didn't want to use too much of this stuff because, I mean, it's not terribly expensive, especially considering what it is. I mean, this stuff was $90 a bottle. Excuse me, I really should go see somebody about that cough, but it's not that bad. So yeah, I'm going to try and save it a little bit because I got a bigger project that I really want to do. This is really just more of a test run to see what happens here with it. So I'm going to get that mixed up, actually get the camera properly set up here, and shoot some actual painting footage now. Alright guys, so my tripod broke. Whoops, I was using that to hold that up. That's alright. Should be able to stay just like that. Maybe. We'll grab that. We'll fix that. Anyways, so my tripod broke while I was trying to get stuff painted. Or stuff set up, I should say. So I went ahead and just kind of painted a few things already, and wow, they ain't lying about how much that camera loves it. That is not even dry yet. I mean, you can... There's one's a little more dry. Wow, yeah. Doesn't even look... Just looking at a hole, like a hole there. So, anyways, what I did here... I went up and made my 4 paints up, like I saw. Made a big mess with all the lit powder, so there's probably lit in the non-lit stuff. But I don't think it'll affect it too much. I went ahead and I kind of did 4 swatches here, and kind of what I call my 3D swatches, my maggots there. Just got the regular black, the ray gun red. Wow, that really shows up red on that screen too. That's pretty impressive. And then of course the black and the red with the lit in it, and then the 4 3D samples there. I went ahead and painted, oh, I skipped one thing. Anyways, I'm going to do a third follow-up shot here anyways of when everything's dry and really show it to you here. But I did 1 coat of the black 2.0 on the shell of that, and then did some of the lit with the red on just the pinchers. I'm going to go back and do some red on the legs as well. Also did some red on the belly, but you can't see that because it's on the bottom. Hopefully it's drying. I did have, I'll go over impressions here in just a second. Also the dynos there, and I was going to do the full lion, but I thought the ninja lion was kind of a neat effect. Unintended there. But you know what? We're going to leave it just like that and let her dry and see how she looks. I did say that if you want to do a second coat, let it dry good. I think 3 hours is what I saw. So we'll let it dry overnight. Really might come back to it. Again, don't want to use too much because I got a secret project that I will show you here in probably about a week or so. Hopefully it won't take me too long to get it done. Just give you a hint. Right now the old paint is stripping, so we'll be putting some new paint on there. Anyways, I'm going to let this stuff dry. I'm going to paint those legs red because I kind of forgot to. And we'll do a follow-up shot here in about an hour or so. Hopefully everything will be looking good then. Yeah. It's a good thing I've got this thing called a photo editor because I completely forgot to make the remarks I was going to mention. I do want to kind of go, just, you know, I'm not an artist by any means. This is probably about as artsy and crafty as I get. I couldn't even tell you what kind of brushes those are, what they're made from, what the stiffness, what the length, anything fancy like that. They're brushes, man. They're soft and stiff. And there's coarse and flimsy. I mean, like, there's 4 different qualities to a brush for me, basically. But those ones are soft and stiff. They seem to paint pretty well. On that note, I wanted to say, I was really impressed with these paints, especially the black. The adhesion on these paints, my goodness, you painted on there and it's stuck on there. It was amazing. It was nice. I've worked with, you know, tempera paints and watercolor paints and all sorts of paints in my academic careers, but none had quite like the adhesion and the coverage as some of these, or as these did. The red sticks pretty well to itself as long as you don't touch it. But if you put it on the paper, it'll stay on what's painted on, won't transfer to the paper. But if you hold it for too long, really more than just a poke, it'll transfer to your skin pretty easily. So the red, definitely a little bit more touch sensitive, more contact sensitive, but still had a pretty good, I felt, coverage to it. And my goodness, I really just can't get over those, just that, this is like half dry too. Like, it's starting to get a nice matte finish in real life. I'm going to come back in about an hour, give it a shot of what it looks like. Probably maybe do another coat on the dinosaur there. All right, enough rambling. Be back in a minute. All right, guys, we're going to check in here on the progress of the drying. It's been maybe an hour and a half, for close to 2 hours. Who knows? Kind of lost track there. But it's been a while. I went back and checked the web page. I think it said an hour. It doesn't need a whole 3. So I mean, it's looking pretty dry already. It's still a little tacky, but not bad. Definitely has that velvety touch as everyone was kind of talking about. I think I am going to throw a second coat on the dyno. I know it looks like super black on the screen. Tom Scott actually does a really good video about colors and why this looks so red on your screen and why this looks so black on your screen and how red and black it actually is in real life compared to what your screen can represent, or reproduce, I should say. But yeah, go check him out. He's got a lot of cool videos. I'll try and link that down below if I remember. Regardless, I'm going to throw a second coat on the dyno and the Lion. I'm not going to throw a second coat on that because I don't want to make any more lit paint. It's all pretty dry over here. And I don't really want to waste the red either. It's pretty expensive per drop compared to even the black. So I'm going to save that, give it another go on there, and we'll see what it looks like. Alright guys, apologize. It is almost bedtime. Nearly forgot to shoot the final follow-up video. But I wanted to just kind of show you everything. I did one more coat on everything, and look at that on the video. It's just like a freaking black hole. Holding it in my hand, it's still pretty impressive. There's definitely some light reflection on it. My understanding is that as it dries a little bit longer, you'll get a much darker coat. Some notes: it does not have very good durability. I mean, it's not bad. It's not like rubbing off or anything. I just dirt my thumb. But you flex it, and it definitely cracks, definitely crumbles off. You can see with the red, especially, you know, just sitting on the paper, peeled right off there. I did a second coat on the Lion as well, and got a little carried away, screwed up, kind of got some on the eyes. So I said, screw it, let's just make the eyes red. I wanted to try and heat the mask look to it, but I think I failed that too. So I probably just gonna take the whole thing just down to black and red. I'll probably take a few pictures of it before I actually post this video. Sorry, it doesn't want to focus there. You know, attributing it to how much. Yeah, there we go. But still see some, you know, some detail on it. It's not super. I mean, it's pretty dang black. That's for dang sure. Again, we'll see what it looks like when it dries. I might, before I go to bed here, just finish up the face and let it dry. But the question we're all really curious about is, how does that lit powder work with it? So we got some body of that, and the claws are painted with the lit. I did do a second coat. On the camera you can't really tell, in person you can't really tell. I'd have to say on the figurines you can definitely tell, at least in person, that there's a second coat on it. Even holding it in my hand on the camera here, you can tell I feel like there's a decent difference between the two coats. It doesn't take much to coat it though, which is nice. I'm not using a whole bunch of paint to cover a whole bunch. So hoping that what I have here is enough to at least do the majority of my project. You can make the rest, fudge the rest. Yeah, so I couldn't find I had a nice little handheld black light that was going to really charge this up. I can't find that. Thankfully it's pretty dark in here, so I'm going to kill some of the lights. I do have an aquarium black light that's meant for glowfish. It's not the strongest, it's kind of old, the lens is faded, so I'm going to try and pop the lens off and see what kind of reaction we get with the lit. But let me kill some lights, grab that light, and we'll see what happens here. Alright guys, I got the black light in my hand here. Like I said, it's not the greatest thing. There's a Freddy. Shh. But we'll see what it does. Let me kill the lights here, flip this thing on, and see what it looks like. So, already you can see, there's the black light. It's kind of a nice little blue on the camera there. Already you can see all the powder all over the top of my table glowing pretty well. You know, your standard stuff that kind of reacts. The lit is definitely lit up. But we'll hit this here. We'll give it a second. I'm not getting quite the... Flip it around. There we go. Wow, look at that. As soon as you pull it off, kind of see some... That glows real good. But you can just see it all over the counter. You can't really see on the camera. It's trying to pick it up. But yeah, it looks like space dust, which is kind of fun. I might give you some ideas for some other things to do with this. So, very well, I mean, considering you can't really see it just in the light, what might end up happening here, I sprinkle it on the top of my project, because I blended it in with that black, and I think he used way more. I think he used like a quarter to a third, if not a half of that jar, to probably the total amount of paint that I actually used, if not half the amount of paint. So yeah, so I don't know how viable it is mixed into the paint. But we'll see how it turns out in the final project, just dusted on top. Hopefully it doesn't take away from the overall look if I just dust it like that. But given how much this stuff is just kind of glowing with not very much actual powder to it, like you really can't see this powder on the table when the lights are on. But you can definitely see it now. But let me see if I can't grab one of these figures, hold it up here a little closer. Alright. So, there is the beetle. We'll get it right up on the light there. And now it's possible that it's just too much ambient light in this room, including just coming from this phone here that I'm using to record. Yeah, high-tech quality. Some people use real cameras. I use my phone. Gets you by when you're starting out like this. Anyways, might be too much ambient light, which kind of tells me a thing again, because my project that I'm going to be working on is going to be, in lighter than this. But it's starting to get a charge. I'm starting to see a little bit of glow on the pinchers there, the red pinchers. Can't really see it when you pull it away. Not like you can. You can see that that's lit up. You can definitely see it kind of starting to glow through the red a little bit, so that's kind of cool. Definitely require more pigment than I used, possibly more pigment than I want to use. Anyway, this portion of the video is getting on pretty long. I'll try and edit it down, maybe. Who knows? Yeah. You can kind of see it starting to to react with the belly there. You can see it because I didn't paint the legs, but it's still glowing with the legs just almost as much, it looks like. But anywho, that's final state of things. I'll probably tack some final pictures of everything on the end. So learn some things here. The dark is definitely dark. The black 2.0 is definitely black. The lit definitely works. Doesn't show up on camera, like I said, but in person. Let's just put it this way. If this stuff was cocaine and the camera or this light was some sort of drug finding, yeah, I'd be in trouble. This counter is just covered with lit powder. The black, like I said, turned out pretty good. The red looks real good in person. I don't necessarily think it's going to be necessarily for a second coat on the flat portions of things that I'm doing. But on three-dimensional objects, let me just turn the light back on here. Anyways, yeah, on three-dimensional objects, I definitely think that that it's definitely worth it to do that second coat, because I mean, geez, you looking at right there, and it looks like there's just a hole in my paper. Even holding it in my hand, you just throw it down the ground and kind of look over it. Looks like there's just a decent little hole right there, so that looks really good. Oh, I'm tired and rambling, so I apologize, guys. I'm gonna try and wrap this up. Final thoughts: cleanup is really good on this stuff. It's better than any paint that I've used. Just hot water, warm water, really, just kind of a good scrub gets it off. You don't even have to scrub your skin off; it just peels right off. If it's a little stubborn, just use some soap or something like that, a little dial soap or antibacterial bacterial soap. Clean that right up. Brushes, just soak them in water, rinse them through, cleans right up real easy. Adhesion again was real good. Even on the second coat, it just sucked it right off, loaded right into the brush, and then right onto the subject. Yeah, cool. I'm impressed with the color. Not necessarily satisfied with my results from the lit, so we'll tweak with that a little bit and see what happens. But stay tuned. I will have a video of the secret project. That's not so secret, not so super, but hey, it's kind of fun to me, and something that hasn't been done in about 10 years for me, so stay tuned to that. And yeah, thanks for dealing with my ramblings, and I'll see you next time. Watch this. Oh, look at the flashlight strap out of the way of the flashlight. There we go. Get the screen. Okay, about 30 or second 20. 18. Cat's curious. What's that light, Kitty? Alright, ready? Ready? Here we go. Look at how much that close. Look at my table. See what I'm talking about? It's dusted. Oh, that's a fun little toy. Okay.